A large new study published in February 2026 in the Journal of the American Medical Association has found that higher consumption of caffeinated coffee and tea is associated with a meaningfully lower risk of Alzheimer's disease and modestly better cognitive function. The research adds to a growing body of evidence connecting these two of the world's most widely consumed beverages to brain health, and does so with a scale and methodology that gives the findings considerable weight. The scale of the Alzheimer's problem. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia globally and the most prevalent neurodegenerative condition affecting adults over 65. It is characterized by progressive memory loss, cognitive impairment, and a gradual inability to manage daily tasks independently. There is currently no cure, and existing treatments address symptoms rather than the underlying disease process, with global forecasts projecting that Alzheimer's prevalence will rise from approximately 17.4 million cases in 2026 to 22.5 million by 2033 across the world's major healthcare markets. The stakes of identifying modifiable risk factors are extremely high. Prevention, even partial prevention through lifestyle and dietary factors, represents a more viable near-term strategy than waiting for pharmaceutical cures that have so far proved elusive. What the study did. The research conducted by Yu Zhang and colleagues drew on data from two long-running US-based cohort studies, the Nurses' Health Study and the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. Together, these provided data from 131,821 participants, making this one of the largest studies to examine the specific relationship between caffeinated beverage intake and Alzheimer's risk. Participants who had a prior history of Parkinson's disease, dementia, or cancer were excluded, as were those with missing data on caffeinated beverage intake, ensuring the analysis focused on a relevant and clean population. Caffeine intake was assessed through validated food frequency questionnaires, a standard tool in nutritional epidemiology. Alzheimer's diagnosis was identified through death records and self-reported physician diagnoses, and cognitive decline was assessed through standardized questionnaires administered over the follow-up period. The data from both cohorts was pooled to maximize statistical power and allow for more robust conclusions than either cohort could provide individually. What the numbers show? The results are specific and meaningful. Among participants with the highest caffeinated coffee intake, which averaged 4.5 cups per day in the Nurses' Health Study and 2.5 cups per day in the Health Professionals Study, compared to those who consumed no caffeinated coffee, higher intake was associated with an 18% lower hazard ratio for developing Alzheimer's disease. The same high intake group also showed a 1.7% lower prevalence of subjective cognitive decline, the self-reported experience of memory and thinking difficulties that often precedes clinical diagnosis. For caffeinated tea, the associations were also significant. The highest tea intake group, averaging approximately 1 cup per day, showed a 14% lower hazard ratio for Alzheimer's risk compared to those who drank no caffeinated tea. These are population-level risk reductions, not guarantees for any individual, but at the scale of a disease affecting tens of millions of people globally, risk reductions of this magnitude translate into a substantial number of cases potentially delayed or prevented. The biological mechanisms behind the association. The researchers proposed several plausible biological pathways that could explain the protective association, and understanding these mechanisms helps evaluate whether the relationship is likely to be causal or merely correlational. The first and most directly studied mechanism involves caffeine's effect on neuroinflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation in the brain is now recognized as a key driver of Alzheimer's pathology, contributing to the accumulation of amyloid plaques and tau tangles that characterize the disease. Caffeine has been shown in laboratory and animal studies to lower the levels of inflammatory cytokines in the brain and to reduce neuroinflammation through its action on adenosine receptors. Adenosine is a signaling molecule that promotes inflammation and neuronal stress. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, reducing their pro-inflammatory signaling. The second pathway involves the antioxidant compounds present in coffee and tea beyond caffeine itself. Both beverages are among the richest dietary sources of polyphenols in the diets of people in high-income countries. Coffee contains chlorogenic acids, caffeic acid, and a range of other polyphenols that have demonstrated neuroprotective properties in laboratory research. Tea, depending on the variety, contains catechins, flavonoids, and L-theanine, compounds with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that may protect neurons from oxidative stress independently of caffeine. The fact that the researchers found protective associations for both coffee and tea, which share caffeine but have substantially different polyphenol profiles, suggests that the benefit is not attributable to caffeine alone, and that the full chemical complexity of these beverages contributes to the effect. Notably, the study found that these associations held independent of participants' genetic risk factors for Alzheimer's, which suggests that the dietary habit of consuming coffee and tea may provide a degree of protection even for people who carry genetic predispositions to the disease. This is a particularly important finding because it indicates the association is not simply a reflection of people with lower genetic risk choosing to drink more coffee. What this research does and does not establish. The critical limitation acknowledged by the researchers themselves is that association studies of this design cannot establish causation. It remains possible that people who drink more coffee and tea share other lifestyle characteristics that contribute to lower Alzheimer's risk. These individuals may be more physically active, have higher educational attainment, maintain stronger social connections, or eat generally healthier diets. While the researchers controlled for known confounders, no observational study can fully account for every relevant lifestyle variable. What this study does establish is a consistent dose-related association between caffeinated coffee and tea consumption and lower Alzheimer's risk across a very large, well-characterized population over an extended follow-up period. The dose-response relationship, where higher intake corresponds to lower risk in a graduated fashion, is an important indicator that the association is meaningful rather than coincidental. The practical picture. For people who already drink coffee or tea regularly, this research provides a reasonable basis for viewing that habit as one component of a brain-protective lifestyle. The quantities associated with the strongest protective effect, roughly 2 to 4 cups of coffee daily, or 1 cup of tea, are within the ranges that most habitual coffee and tea drinkers already consume, and well within the limits that health authorities generally consider safe for most adults. For people who do not currently drink these beverages, or who cannot tolerate caffeine due to anxiety, sleep disruption, or cardiovascular sensitivity, the research does not suggest that starting caffeinated coffee or tea consumption is a necessary intervention. Alzheimer's risk is influenced by a complex web of factors, and no single dietary habit, however promising, overrides the foundational importance of physical activity, quality sleep, cardiovascular health, social engagement, and cognitive stimulation in protecting brain function through aging. What this study adds to the growing scientific picture is meaningful evidence that the daily beverages billions of people already enjoy may be doing more for long-term brain health than previously understood.